Yeah, we back. Now, today, man, we're going to talk about it, man. Dave Chappelle just landed in West Africa, specifically Ghana. And listen, man, if you thought that the Tariq Nasheed fan base, the Tariq Nasheed cult members were upset when they seen Meek Mill up in Africa talking about he had the time of his life, when Meek Mill said that when he went to Ghana was the most love that he's ever received anywhere, even at home, even in North Philly, even in the United States, right? If you thought that the Tariq Nasheed cult members were throwing the fit back then, I really wonder what narrative that Tariq is going to spin now, because guess what? It's not just Dave Chappelle that's in West Africa. In fact, I believe that it's Chance the Rapper is organizing an event called the Black Star Line, where he's speaking at the University of Ghana, and there's many prominent black people from the United States taking the trip over, right? I don't know what conversation is going to be had. It's a private event. No phones are going to be allowed. Only the people that are at the event are going to know what's discussed at the event. I believe it's some kind of, bridging the gap with the diaspora and the continent. So I love it, man. I love it. Of course, I'm going to cover it. Whatever information comes out about the event, I'm going to cover it, right? But Dave Chappelle is the first on the scene. I believe he's going to be at the event as well. And as we know, the event is called the Black Star Line, and we know where that name came from, right? The legendary Marcus Garvey, right? The legendary Marcus Garvey. So one of the pioneers of Pan-Africanism, one of the fathers of Pan-Africanism. So, listen, man, Tariq Nasheed, man, he's about to be throwing up. He's about to be having a fit. He's about to be having seizures. Man, I really want to know what narrative they're going to spin, because this is an event that is bridging the gap with the diaspora and the continent, right? Intellectuals, prominent members on the continent meeting with prominent members of the diaspora, right? So it's going to be a beautiful thing. I'm definitely going to cover it. Any information that comes out, you already know. So listen, man, we already just going to put it out there right now. As you can see, Dave Chappelle, as you know, way back in the day, right? Remember when he walked away from corporate America, when he walked away from Comedy Central? He walked away from millions of dollars, not just, 3, 4, 5 million. I believe it was up in the, $50 million type range, right? Big money, right? His integrity meant more to him than any money that the corporate establishment could offer him. And where did he seek refuge back then? He left the country, and Dave Chappelle fell off the map for a very long time. Where did he go? He went to the continent of Africa, right? So going to the continent is nothing new for Dave Chappelle. This is not his first trip. Unlike Meek Mill, I believe this was Meek Mill's first trip, really getting involved, really touching the continent, touching the people, interacting with dignitaries, the head of state. Meek Mill, his stay was unique because Meek Mill was chilling with the street dudes and he was chilling with the heads of state. So listen, the versatility, man, listen, that's the benefit that we get as members of the diaspora. Now you got to be careful. Meek Mill, he ran into some trouble because, you hanging with the street dudes, but that's what Meek Mill is known for. He does the same thing in the United States. Wherever he touched down, whether it's LA, whether it's Miami, Meek Mill is going to touch the street dudes. So it's no different when he went to the continent, right? But Meek Mill, he said he had the time of his life, the most love that he ever received anywhere on the planet. And Dave Chappelle, as you can see, getting love on the African continent is nothing new to Dave Chappelle, right? As soon as he touched down off the plane, man, listen, they greeting him like a boss. They greeting him like a king. Just like when Rick Ross went to Zimbabwe sometime last month, and I covered that too, man. The beautiful Zimbabwean women surrounding Rick Ross, doing the traditional dances, wearing the traditional clothing. It was a beautiful thing, man, and I'm gonna cover it every time. Anytime any prominent member of the diaspora comes back to the continent, whether it's an entertainer, musician, businessman, entrepreneur, whatever it may be, I'm going to cover it, because on my channel we preach unity. On my channel we preach love wherever you are located on the planet, right? Unlike certain members, like, listen, the Tariq Nasheed fan base who claims that they're about black unity. They claim they're about that, right? But listen, the words don't match the actions, because everywhere they go, they're trying to push a certain narrative to draw us further apart. So listen, we don't respect their intelligence levels anyway. We don't respect anything they got to say because what they say doesn't match up with the reality that's on the ground, with the reality that we can see, with the reality that we can hear, right? And it's always the prominent members of the diaspora that come back and get big love, right? You never hear these dudes talking about how they get no love. Man, listen. Let me tell you, this one chick came into my comment section on one of the videos where I was covering Meek Mill, right? And she was talking about, the only reason that Meek Mill gets love is because Meek Mill, he got money, right? Because Meek Mill made something of himself. He came up, started from the bottom, and that's the only reason they get love. So I responded to her and I said this, because this was the video, I believe, where I was talking about Meek Mill meeting the daughter of the president of Ghana. And I had said this, would it have made you happy if the president's daughter met up with the homeless people on Skid Row in California? Would that have impressed you? Because Joe Biden is not going to meet up with no homeless people on Skid Row and take a picture. Joe Biden's daughter is not going to come hang out with Meek Mill. But listen, they're going to come and try to find any narrative to draw us further apart, to throw dirt on any sense of unity that we may have across the continent, across the diaspora, across the Caribbean. It doesn't even matter. They're going to find anything to discredit it, right? Even when their own people come out and say, this is the most love that I ever received on the African continent. That is where I felt at home. That is where I got the most love. And that is where I want to expand my business operations. That's what Meek Mill came out and said. But you still had members of Tariq Nasheed's fan base trying to throw dirt on that. When Meek Mill went overseas and tried to bridge the gap, his own people, the members of the Tariq Nasheed fan base, the Tariq Nasheed cult, right? They're trying to throw dirt on that, and they're trying to harm his business relations that he may try to establish in the future, right? And for what reason? Just to push a narrative that their big daddy Tariq told them about. They've never set foot on the continent. They have no first-hand information. Everything they got is second-hand, third-hand, fourth-hand, right? So listen, man, they're going to be sick. They're going to be sick after this event, because I believe this is happening either Thursday or Friday of this week, right? Chance the Rapper is throwing the Black Star Line event up in Ghana. Dave Chappelle is invited, and among many other members. I'm not going to name them right here. I'll probably name them in future videos when I cover the event, right? Because even though it's going to be a private event, no phones, no camera, no media, I'm pretty sure they're going to take videos just like this one where Dave Chappelle is touching the people, dancing with the people, having a good time with the people. And I'm sure Chance the Rapper and many of the other invited guests that, listen, go to Chance the Rapper's Instagram if you want more information on that. All the big names that's going to go over there. Listen, he's already talking about it. So I'm pretty sure there's going to be videos, and I'm going to cover them videos, man. I'm going to cover them videos, and Tariq Nasheed and all his fans, they're going to be sick. But guess what? It doesn't matter, because guess what? The prominent members of Black society, the prominent individuals of the diaspora, they don't follow none of that ideology, none of that narrative. That is relegated to the bottom rung of society, those with no accomplishments at all. So honestly, man, listen, successful Black people, like I always say, successful people of all races in general, but especially successful Black people, right? Our mentality is always pinpointed towards unity, love, spreading love, bridging the gap, right? We want to help all our people rise up. We want to help all our people reach a certain level to where we can all be happy. We can all be prosperous, right? That is the mentality that we have. That is why Chance the Rapper is throwing this event, right? That is why Chance the Rapper invited big names like Dave Chappelle, among many others. So it's going to be a beautiful thing, man. It's going to be a beautiful thing. The energy of unity is in the air, and this is right off the heels of Meek Mill's visit to Ghana. Man, it's beautiful, man. It's beautiful, and I cannot wait to cover it. I cannot wait to add my commentary, and I cannot wait to see what comes out of it, man. So major love to Dave Chappelle, big love to Chance the Rapper, and everybody coming to the event. It's going to be a beautiful thing, man. So listen, like, share, subscribe, Cash App in the description. Support the platform, support the platform. It's your boy Neferkari Desaline back in the building, yes indeed, and I'm gone. Peace. Oh, wait, and before I go, man, isn't it funny how they'll find any reason to discredit any form of unity, any sense of love between members of the diaspora and those on the continent, right? Because they'll say things like, oh, it's only because these people got money, these people are this and that, that's why they get love. Well, we can always turn the tables and ask, well, the United States, when they invite people in, right? When they invite immigrants from other countries in, are they taking the bottom rung of society, or are they taking the best and the brightest, right? Those with the most resources, those who are in the best position to contribute to the American economy, right? But when you switch the tables, right, they want to discredit African nations for doing the same thing, for trying to collaborate with intelligent, prominent, and resource-rich members of the diaspora so they can also help advance the country, so we can work as a team. They got something to offer, and the country's got something to offer, right? But listen, they'll try to throw dirt on anything. I can already see them coming to the comment section right now. Oh, the only reason Dave Chappelle is over there getting love, the only reason Chance the Rapper's over there throwing in an event is because they're rich Black men. But they'll never say the same thing in reverse, right? Towards their own country. How come they only take the best best and the brightest through a process that we call brain drain, right? So listen, don't pay attention to anybody that comes into the comment section and tries to throw dirt and tries to spin a narrative in a negative light, because as you can see, you see that video, man, Dave Chappelle, he just up in there having a good time dancing. And listen, I guarantee he does not subscribe to no FBA ideology. I guarantee if he even heard about the FBA ideology, he'd probably bust out laughing and make a comedy skit about it, and he would treat them like the jokes and the clowns that they are. So it is what it is, man. It's your boy Neferkari Desaline. Gone. Peace.
Reincarnated, I'm back in original fashion. I left on a horse and came back in the ass, and I left with abundance and came back to famine. We used to be pyramids, now we be rapping. Look how the mighty have fallen. Used to be running, now we be walking. When you be cooning, that's when they applauded. Selling your soul, your sons and your daughter. Gotta come up in this shit, they stuck in the mix. Really, my heart it be breaking. That's why I'm stacking that paper and handle my business. Pass it down in generation. Talking about money and power and building a nation. That's a deadly combination. Never be watching the TV, they pushing agendas, falsifying information. Know they got malice intentions. Step in the room and I'm feeling the tension. Enemy watching, he blocking my vision. Pay for the check cause I need my redemption. Building my kingdom, I need it protected. Ready for war like a young money Congo. Never decided the team is the motto. Up in the crib and I'm whipping up waffles. Up in the crib and I'm smoking gelato. I'm chilling, I'm taking my pain and make it ambition. I'm blessed by the gods, but I ain't religious. I came for the power, they came for the bitch. They making no hourly wage, I got business. This is an art and they could never be taught. Selling my soul, I can never be bought. Play with my money, I see you ain't caught. Run to the check and I do it for sport. Babylon falling, I go to the source. Packing my luggage and go overseas. Shorty be with me and she so elite. Shorty be chocolate, I'm calling her Hershey. Secret intelligence probably gon' murk me. Don't fuck with brands cause nigga I'm Haitian. Say the wrong shit and you're smacking their faces.